Hi everyone, I wanted to share a dupe for this beloved viral Chanel bronzer that I hear everyone rave about. And actually I stumbled upon this dupe for this bronzer from something that some of you guys were sharing with me. Now, if you are not familiar with the Chanel bronzer, I will just briefly tell you about it and then I will share with you what the dupe is. So this is not a bronzer that I use and I'm going to tell you why, but of course I had to purchase it because I wanted to share it in this video. But this is a bronzer that I hear so many people rave about. I think the retail on this is like $50 or $51, but it is a decent size amount and I think it would last a really long time. Even though it's a decent amount of product, since it's a cream, I probably would not keep it as long as it would probably last. I'm thinking a product this large would last, you know, probably 6 months or longer, and I personally would not want to use a cream product that long if I'm dipping, you know, a brush or a sponge in it that long, especially since I am major acne prone still at 50 years old. But even if I wasn't acne prone, I just don't like to keep cream products that long. But you know, hey, if it works for you, go for it. This is actually a beautiful bronzer, so there's nothing wrong with the way this performs or the way this looks on the skin. I'm not applying it on my skin today and I'm going to share with you why, but I am going to show you what it looks like as a swatch. This has a beautiful creamy formula. It dries down in this really pretty kind of powdery matte finish, but not like a chalky, cakey matte finish. And to me, it has a little bit of an orangey, well, you can even see it's got a little bit of an oranginess to it. And I have tried this on, but then I quickly washed it off right away because it did start to leave like just kind of like a rashy little irritated bumps on my skin. And then afterwards I read the ingredients, and like the second ingredient in this is coconut oil. So that's why I'm not putting it on my skin. I mean, even saying the word coconut oil when you're acne prone, it just makes your skin start to break out. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I do think this is really pretty. But again, I do think that this has, you know, you can see it's kind of got like that orangey vibe going on to it. If you put too much of it on, it does look kind of Oompa Loompa-ish. But it is highly fragranced. So fragranced that I had put it on my hand and even like an hour later, I could still smell. I thought I had perfume on and I thought, man, where did I get this perfume? I was like, it just smells like straight up flowers. And then I realized it's this. So if you love your face to smell like a flower bush for hours upon hours, then you probably would like that also. So now let's talk about the dupe and how I stumbled upon it. If you are not new to my channel, you will know how much I absolutely love my 𝑰𝑵𝑚 SPF 50 compact, which I've shared it in many videos. I share it on my Instagram. I use this to, sometimes I use it as my foundation because this gives me a medium to full coverage look of a foundation, but it's also an all mineral SPF 50. So I will use this as my makeup, my foundation for the day, but this is what I keep in my purse. This is how I touch up my sunscreen throughout the day. My 𝑰𝑵𝑚 compact has been a holy grail for me, especially in the summer. Well, it only comes in 2 shades, and the shade beige is the one that typically I wear for my foundation. And when I had swatched the shade Honey a while back, I thought, oh my gosh, this is way too dark, I'll get the shade beige. Well, many of you were telling me this shade Honey, and I'll show you the shade beige that I have, that I wear most often. This is the comparison here. Many of you were telling me that you use your shade Honey, and you were saying, oh, well, Honey actually blends really well in your skin. So I was in France, I don't know, a week or so ago, and I thought, you know what, let me go take a peek at shade Honey again, because 𝑰𝑵𝑚 was made in France, so golly, when you go in French pharmacies, 𝑰𝑵𝑚, it's like 𝑰𝑵𝑚 heaven. I mean, I would go in there and there's just like wall after wall after wall of 𝑰𝑵𝑚 products. So I swatched the Honey again, and as soon as I swatched it on my arm, I was like, this looks just like the Chanel bronzer, because the Chanel bronzer was sold in the cruise ship that I'm on right now. There's a beautiful makeup store that has high-end makeup on the cruise ship that I'm on right now. So of course I had swatched the Chanel bronzer again when I was on it. So when I was in the French pharmacy, I'm like, I'm gonna get the Honey. I'm gonna test it out to see if it would work as a cream bronzer. So of course I take it home or to the cruise ship, because I don't have a home. The cruise ship is my home. And you guys, Honey, if you are my shade or lighter, Honey is the most gorgeous cream bronzer ever. And wait till you see these swatches I'm about to show you. It's nearly identical to the Chanel bronzer, except it doesn't have that orange undertone to it. I prefer my bronzers to have a little more kind of cool tone, a little more reddish to them. Wait till you see what these swatches look like. I was absolutely blown away. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like when I apply this as my cream bronzer. I mean, especially for summertime, if you are like me and you love using sunscreen type makeup products and you're just wanting to find ways to layer more sunscreen products, this is perfection for that instead of just using a regular bronzer. So I just take a makeup brush, or you could use a sponge. I'm using a BK Beauty brush, and I will be linking everything down below that I'm using, and I just apply it to my face the same way I would do a bronzer. And I'm not a makeup artist, so I do everything really sloppy, but what's so beautiful about this product, it blends like a dream. Then I just blend it out either with a brush, I use the sponge that comes with the product, or I use any old makeup sponge, whatever works for you. You can even do it with your fingers, and this shade on my skin tone looks so pretty. If you have lighter skin than me and you want a more bold looking bronzer shade or a contour shade, this would be absolute perfection on your skin tone. And then I just add a little blush and I'm done. Now you can add powder, whatever you want over top of this. I don't always powder it down. Since it's a cream to powder product, I just wait and let it kind of dry down on its own for a few minutes. But if you like to powder it down, you can do so. But let me show you the comparison of what these look like. The 𝑬𝑺, it's very creamy when you rub your hand in it. When I rub it on my skin, it feels very creamy. It blends like a dream. It doesn't skip. It just blends out so smooth and beautiful. It's got that really pretty undertone note. It doesn't pull orange at all like the Chanel bronzer does. And then it'll dry down to a really pretty powdery finish. And it just looks beautiful all day long. But of course, what's so nice about it is it has an all mineral SPF 50 to it. So this is great if you're trying to have that beautiful beach bronze look, but of course you want your skin to stay super duper protected and you really don't want to have a tan. And then this is what the Chanel bronzer looks like next to it. Same thing, it's got a beautiful creamy texture when you rub your finger in it. Same thing, it blends beautifully on the skin, but you can see where it's got that orangey undertone to it. I feel like when I do the Chanel one, I had to keep applying it a few different times to make it show up as a bronzer, but then I really looked orange, so that's why, another reason why I just think the 𝑬𝑺 one just blows the Chanel out of the water. So the great thing about the 𝑬𝑺 one over the Chanel, this is fragrance free. There's no coconut oil in this. My face never ever breaks out from this 𝑬𝑺 one. And of course, this is an all mineral SPF 50. This doesn't have any sunscreen or anything like that in it. So let me know if you have this Chanel bronzer, what you think of it, and let me know if you plan to try this shade if you're my skin tone or lighter, if you're gonna try this as a bronzer. And if you already have it and maybe you felt like it was a little too dark for you as a sunscreen, maybe try it as a cream bronzer and see how it works out for you. If you guys like dupes videos, I have another dupes video that I think that you're really gonna like. If you've ever heard of the super popular La Mer moisturizing cream, which I think most of us have, I have a super amazing dupe that is so ridiculously affordable. It's not like $500 like the La Mer product, but this product performs even better than La Mer. And I heard about it actually from a dermatologist who said that it's a dupe for the La Mer. So if you wanted to see that dupe video for La Mer, I'm going to pop that video up here if you wanted to click on it and check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.